So, I've just finished watching The Santa Clauses a few hours ago, and I will say this was a pleasant surprise. After the trailers, I was a little bit nervous. It looked a little bit too over the top, too cheesy for my liking, some weird modern jokes. But I will say it surprised me. I really enjoyed the show. It was a mix of characters that I cared about and that were also fun. Like every character had a fun sort of quirky characteristic about them that created fun dynamics and were just entertaining to watch. A great example of that is La Befana. She was a random character. She wasn't that prominent, but she had a personality that made me want to see more of her in the show. And every time she was on screen, I was quite entertained. She's a really fun character, and I think they made the most out of this concept of the idea of Santa Claus being connected to this mystical sort of thing, and creatures existing, and like magic existing, and with witches, and they had like Krampus, and all the things with the elves, and they just sort of made this side of this universe feel fleshed out. This magical, mystical side. Um, and yeah, I mean, they did that in a way that didn't really intrude on the main point of the show. They just sort of casually did it, and I think it was a nice way to make this feel like a really lived in world. Um, and yeah, also the plots, though simple, I think it was effective. It got the message across of that Christmas spirit, and it was still engaging with real consequences happening, with the elves disappearing and then having Betty, one of the main elves that we followed throughout the show, disappearing really added more tension and some real stakes. I mean, the stakes weren't too high because, I mean, this is a show kind of targeted at kids, and it's more of a fun show. They're not gonna kill off some of the favorite characters, but it gave the audience, like, it was something there to make us feel like the actions of Simon had consequences. Now, I did like most of the elements of the show, but one element that I didn't love was Simon. Again, he was a character that was fun. He had his own fun personality, but I feel like he was underdeveloped because when he turned to the quote unquote dark side, he felt very one dimensional, very one note, and he felt like almost a totally different person from before. There were elements, that sort of ambition that he had, but I feel like the character we were originally introduced to was a good person, and when he found out that elves were disappearing or basically dying, that he would stop it, right? I think it could be believable if they gave him more of a backstory so that he has a real motivation to do this everything now sort of thing, this Christmas every day. Maybe some event happened in his past where he needed a certain thing, but he couldn't have it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one of his parents was sick and he couldn't afford the medication. That's an example of a possible thing they could add to his backstory to make us feel like like his turn to the dark side, like his determination to do this Christmas everyday type thing more plausible. It would make it feel more plausible, so the character would feel more developed, and he wouldn't feel like a one-dimensional villain. Yeah, but other than that, I pretty much have no flaws. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. It was just a lot of fun, and one of my favorite Christmas pieces of media, which I guess is not saying much. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas movies in general, but yeah, it was really fun. So overall, I would give this show an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty much flawless, except for that Simon part, which which is a big flaw. It's not like a tiny little nitpick. It's a big thing because he's a main character. He's sort of what drives the plot forward. But other than that, it was a lot of fun, and it wasn't something that really nagged at me. It wasn't something that stopped me from enjoying the show. I just didn't love it. So, yeah, that's it for this video. Tell me in the comment section down below, what did you think of the Santa Clauses series? And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.